Welcome to Bringing IP to Life. I'm Anna from Amanya IP and Owen Design, and I'm joined by my guests to talk about IP. We're going to hear people's stories of their creativity, business, and entrepreneurship. Intellectual property can be a really dull subject until it becomes personal. This is aimed to help see the relevance of IP in everyday life. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm joined by Owen again from Merlin. We're going to hear a little bit of a snippet of the show. So listen in, we're going to hear a little bit about what we're talking about today.
People underestimate the value of IP. And it's a difficult one because you can't put it on the balance sheet. So it's very difficult then to quantify its value. Because if it hasn't got a value on the balance sheet, then from the outside, nobody sees it as having any value at all.
Yes.
But internally, then it has immense value because effectively it's who you are.
That's right.
And it's what you are. And if you believe in who you are and what you are, then you need to protect it as much as possible. And I would always, if you've got it, then hang on to it and make sure you protect it and defend it in every way you can.
So tell us, Owen, a little bit more about what the business does, because you are serving the leisure industry. Tell us how that works.
Well, effectively, what we do is that, as I say, we manage people. So if, for example, you've got a visitor attraction of any kind from a farm park or a cave or anything like that, a zoo or theme park, then we manage the people. So everything from initial inquiry through to ticketing, to access control at the venue, to the shop, the cafe, the bar, the restaurant, memberships, special events, seated arenas, anything to do with managing people, really. And that applies to any kind of event where people need managing, whether they need a seat booking or they need a space at a table or a seat on a railway carriage or a boat or whatever it might be. We just manage the people. Well, our system manages the people and anything that they want to do. So it doesn't matter what you're doing within the venue, our software will manage it.
Excellent. Excellent. So if you're a small business that's providing leisure facilities, tell us how it works for, a small business like that. How does it work?
Well, I mean, effectively, there's two halves to the operation, really. I suppose you can split it into three. So at the front end, we have an online ticketing and booking platform,
right,
which people can use on their own, entirely free, put their own events on there, get it all set up, start selling tickets, taking bookings, etc., etc. We have a platform that sits there allowing people to do that. Then if they want sort of a box office and a walk-up facility, then we've got another capability where we've got software that then allows you to buy tickets at the box office for the day off in advance or whatever you might want to do. It allows you to become a member. It allows you to book seats in the auditorium potentially or whatever it might be. And then thirdly, within the venue, if you've got a cafe, a shop, a bar and a restaurant, we have got software that will manage that for you. So all in all, it's a completely integrated end-to-end solution, but people can buy or use different parts of it depending where they are on their journey of technology.
Excellent, excellent. So from a user point of view, you take care of all the techie stuff. That's why your people in the back end can take care of all of that. If somebody's got problems with making it all work, you can get all that working with your technical team, can't you?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, allegedly.
And you can just make the process a lot smoother for a small business or an entertainment.
I mean, effectively, we take over the the management of the business for them. I mean, we've done some jobs where they've already had some technology, and they wanted to replace it with something with a bit more clout and capability. We've had other situations where we've literally gone into a completely brand new environment, a brand new museum with nothing, and we've put in the whole infrastructure, everything from the cabling right the way through to the barriers for the access control, to the terminals, to the shop, the lot. So it depends where they are on their journey as much as anything.
Wow. So you can serve the small businesses as well as the larger.
Yeah, I mean, the system doesn't care how big you are, to be honest. I mean, it sells tickets. It can sell 1 or 100,000. The process is exactly the same.
Yeah.
The software works in exactly the same way, whether you're selling, 10 or a dozen, or whether you're selling a concert out of 30, 40,000 people.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, Owen, you're saying the system is free. So
The platform is free. The system's not free.
All right. So explain what that means for somebody who might be interested.
Well, we have a ticketing platform where you can go on and you can put events on that platform. So if you were running events of any kind, training events or anything, you could put all those events on that platform. If the event is free, then the platform is entirely free. If there's a charge to be made for the event, then there's a cost that's incurred for us setting it all up so that you can take payment and all that sort of stuff.
So if you're doing things for free, there's no charge to the business, but obviously you've got to get your money somehow. So if you're making a charge, is it a percentage, or do you do a monthly fee? How does it work?
No, it's a percentage, and so you only pay when you sell. So right. we don't have any upfront fees or anything like that. So if tickets don't sell, then we don't earn and you don't get paid either. So we work on the basis that people will put events on that will sell and we will all make money, but that doesn't always happen.
Yes.
We have had events where we've had tickets on sale, and I think we had the worst event we ever had was where there was something. I think there were 150 tickets for sale and they sold 3. That wasn't. It didn't go down. I don't think their marketing was as effective as it could and should have been. But we have no control over that. So
doesn't sound like it. And you had the challenge of lockdown, didn't you? So how did that work with the business?
Well, the thing with lockdown worked quite well for us because for the effectively the 3 months we were locked down from middle of March to the middle of June. We were allowed to do software development. It wasn't classed as work, so you could do software development. So everybody was on furlough, but all the techie people were developing the system to take it forward.
Okay.
So that worked out quite well for us. I mean, without furlough, the business would have just collapsed because all non-essential retail was closed. That was us. All venues were closed, all events were closed, all visitor attractions were closed. So we had no revenue coming in whatsoever. So without furlough, the business would have just literally collapsed.
Mm. Yes.
But we were allowed to do software development as part of the furlough.
So how did you develop the business in that time? Was it new systems? How did it go?
Well, we'd got a load of stuff that was all waiting to be developed within the program, so we brought some of that forward, ready for launch when lockdown finished. But also, we found out a really good opportunity, and it's one of the things that when I go out and about and talk to people about developing and growing a business, I always say that at the end of the day, we don't sell products and services; we sell solutions. Mm-hmm. So you go out and you find a problem, yes, and then you solve that problem, and whatever that problem might be, that's the solution that you provide. And a friend of mine taught me that many years ago when he said that problem seeking, problem solving, friend for life. And he said that's how you need to look at it. Well, the problem that we came across during the spring of 2020 was that, I mean, if you remember, it was really super weather and everybody got a really great suntan because they were sitting in their gardens in the sun.
That's right.
And it was, but that didn't help the farmers whose fruit was ripening rapidly in the fields because they got nobody to pick it.
Yes.
Because the fruit pickers had gone back to Eastern Europe because of COVID.
Yes.
So they were desperate to get either some compensation for the fruit that was going to waste or people to go and pick it. So they appealed to the government about getting some financial support for the fruit that they couldn't pick and sell. And the government said, well, you know, we're going to let people out in a week's time or whatever it was. So once people can go out, they can go and pick the fruit.
Okay.
So Boris, at the time, sort of stood up in government and said, look, guys, we've got a problem. There's all this fruit out in the fields that the farmers can't pick. So, you know, now we're releasing you from the restrictions that you've got. We've still got, they brought in things like masks and they brought in 2-meter distancing and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
But at least people were then allowed out. So he said, I want you to get out there. I want you to pick the fruit, save the farms, feed the nation. That was his strap line.
Yes.
And we linked up. Well, I picked up on that. And at the time, a client of ours and a friend of mine was chair of the Farm Retail Association. And they had to try and manage this because the farmers said, well, how the hell do we manage it? You know, normally we just stick a board outside saying, you know, fruit's ready and they come and pick it. He said, but if we've got to manage the numbers and keep people 2 meters distance, and you know, how on earth are we going to be able to do that with just a board at the gate? So we came up with the very first fruit picking voucher system.
Okay.
So effectively, you went online, you found a time slot, you booked a time slot, you paid your $5.95 for a punnet of strawberries or your $6.95 for a punnet of raspberries. You turned up at the appointed date and time, you exchanged your voucher for a punnet, and you wandered off down the field, you filled it, you put it in your car, you went home. And we effectively saved the farms with our system.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we did exceptionally well out of COVID, to be fair. We also got involved with the Eat Out to Help Out scheme because everything had to be booked in advance. You couldn't go anywhere without a booking. And of course, our system did all of the bookings and all of the ticketing and all of the allocations. And our retail system managed the fact that, you know, you paid £10 and got your meal or whatever it was. So we did very well out of that as well.
Wow. Look at all this that goes on behind the scenes that people don't know about.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's about, as I said before, it's about providing solutions, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, that's right. You know.
Yeah.
So where's the business going from here on? Because you're the visionary behind it. What are your plans? And
well, my plan for the last 4 years has been to get out of the business and actually do something else. It's never quite that easy for 2 reasons. One, I've got a lot of people that have been with me for a long time, and secondly, it's difficult to get somebody out of a business who's grown it from scratch to where it is now.
yes,
Because if I leave, there's nothing left, basically.
right.
So that's been the issue. So we're constantly fighting that battle as to somebody that will keep the people. And we've had various offers for the business where nobody wanted the people, and that wasn't acceptable.
Yes.
They said, well, you know, A, we're not based here, and B, we've got a stack of programmers of our own, so we don't need any more.
Right.
And they didn't want us to toopy the people across because that would have picked up all the employment rights and that they'd accrued over the time of their employment with us.
Yes.
And they didn't want that. So we've never found anybody that wanted the business and the people.
Right.
I mean, we're currently talking to an American organisation at the moment that hasn't got anybody over here, so we'll need the people at least in the short term.
Right.
So there's a possibility that might become fruitful, but I don't know yet. It's one
Yeah.
of those things where you almost feel locked into the business. It's and unless somebody will buy it off you, then it has no value.
Mm. Yeah, because a business like yours, you've got to have technical understanding to be able to, talk to people about it, haven't you? You've got the background that set it up and understands it, but somebody coming totally new into the industry may not be able to make it run to the same effectiveness.
No, that's the problem. So it tends to be competitors that want the business, but they don't want the people.
Right.
They want the customer base and they want the technology, but they don't want the people.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it's a difficult balance.
Mm. Mm. And what are the things you'd like to do, Owen, when you're not working?
I shall never stop working. I mean, I've got my own car business there, so that'll keep me going quite nicely.
I know you have cars. I didn't know you had a car business.
Yeah, I own a business called Linden Classics.
I did not know that. I thought you just liked nice cars, old cars. Didn't know it was.
Well, I'm into classic cars, but I tend to buy, restore, and sell them.
I didn't know that. Wow, man of many talents, many talents.
Well, I was brought up in the industry.
Yeah.
And so it's in my blood, really.
Yeah.
I could drive at 11, so I've always been in that industry.
Wow.
I was driving coaches at 12-year-old.
Wow. 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 So, Owen, we've talked about lots of things today, and we've talked about your IP. So, from the IP perspective, what's your biggest takeaway for people to learn from your experience in the whole IP area? What would you say to people through your many years of experience in the industry?
Well, I think people underestimate the value of IP, and it's a difficult one because you can't put it on the balance sheet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's very difficult then to quantify its value, because if it hasn't got a value on the balance sheet, then from the outside nobody sees it as having any value at all.
Yes.
But internally, then it has immense value, because effectively it's who you are.
That's right.
And it's what you are. And if you believe in who you are and what you are, then you need to protect it as much as possible. And I would always, if you've got it, then hang on to it and make sure you protect it and defend it in every way you can.
Yes.
Because it does have value. It does have its own kudos, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, we haven't got a patent, but we've got a trademark. So, we can put that on all of our stationery and everything else.
Yes.
And it sets us apart from anybody else that hasn't got that. Mm-hmm. So you can create a business and give it a name. But if what you're doing isn't trademarked, then mm-hmm. effectively it has no real standing. Anybody else can come and copy it and everything yes. else. And what do you pin your culture on? What do you pin the whole modus operandi on if you haven't got something like that really brings everything together?
Yes. 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 And I know so many stories where, the IP, the trademark hasn't been protected. Someone hasn't got a trademark, and then they've had to start from scratch, even many, many years into the business being run, that they've got to change the name, which is just, a nightmare.
Yeah, you can fight that. Mm-hmm. Because you can fight somebody coming in if you can prove that you've had that name stroke brand for a number of years under what they call the custom and practice rule. Yes. So if you can prove custom and practice for a number of years, mm-hmm. then you do have a chance to combat it. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee of success like there would be if it was trademarked. I mean, if it's trademarked, the law is there behind you.
Yes.
If it's custom and practice, it becomes subjective to the tribunal that you effectively present it to.
Right.
And when anything becomes subjective, you're always, I mean, at best it's 50-50, isn't it? So. Whereas if it had been trademarked, then you're on firm ground, really.
Yes.
But it surprises me how many people, and it's not expensive to decide which classes you want it trademarking in, and then getting it. And once you've done that, I mean, you've got that for a number of years, so you don't have to worry about it at all then.
That's right.
And then when it comes up for renewal, you just renew it again.
That's right.
You just have to remember to renew it. I mean, I worked for an organisation many years ago who forgot to renew their trademarks.
Right.
And then got caught out by people coming into the industry we were in, effectively through the back door, because we hadn't been cute enough to make sure that we'd updated all our trademarks.
Yes. Yes. Important to know these things.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not difficult. You get a certificate with a date on it, so you just have to diary the fact that, whatever the timescale is before that, 3 months, 6 months, whatever,
That's right.
that you make your application to renew.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
If you'd like to know more about intellectual property or IP, check out the Amanya IP website at www.amanyaipcourses.com. Courses vary from general basic understanding about IP for adults, young people and students, through to professional courses and courses for the USA market. The courses are aimed to help young people, students, designers, artists, business owners and entrepreneurs become IP smart to enable them to protect their dreams.
Owen, thank you so much for your time today. We're going to come back and talk about some stuff going on behind the scenes with you. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. And thank you, Owen, for being my guest. And we look forward to hearing from you in the next show.
No problem. Okay.
Thanks for joining us on the show. Like, follow and subscribe to make sure you hear about what's coming up next. You can head over to the website www.amanyaipcourses.com to find out more. See you again soon.